Hello everyone, Volfey here, back again with another 10 interesting facts about World of Warcraft and TBC game, content and lore. First video seemed to be interesting to many and part 2 was requested, so without further ado, let's go. Number 1. Something soft for the start. Everyone knows about secrets at Ironforge, like outside abandoned air shipyard, which was supposed to be a gnomish starting area before they clunked them up together with dwarves. Since on Horde side orcs and trolls had the same starting area, they didn't want to differ that. So it stayed in game just unreachable. Similar goes for old Ironforge throne and room. Although it's in the game, it wasn't, or at least that easy to get there. Players had to dip through textures to achieve that. Reason why the old Ironforge throne room exists is because of the lore. That is where Magni Bronzebeard has done his ritual which gave him $1 million smile. You are welcome to try and clip through textures here somehow. Either with fear, summon, or maybe even blink, up to you. Number 2. While we are on the visit to Ironforge, let's take a route to the northern part of the city and into the Explorer's Halls. Now this might not be something new for dwarf mains out there, but I know that there are tons of players who ever played just the Horde and don't know much about Gatherers of Ironforge. Anyway, if you venture there, you will find a museum-like exhibition of interesting things dwarfs excavated or found in the wilderness of Azeroth during their countless expeditions. First one is a fossilized egg. Even though the explanation says it's been found in the Tanaris desert, I'm pretty sure that egg came from Silithid species burrowed deep under the sand. The same Silithid from Silithus. Second one is the biggest Gearus Strider, or so the dwarfs think. This one came from their expedition to Kalimdor, Malwar to be precise, cause if you look precisely, it's an adult plane strider actually. Third is Highborn Astrolab, legit old apparatus used by elves 12,000 years ago. I wish there was more information about it, like where was it excavated, because Sundering sent Suramar somewhere where we don't know it yet in this expansion. Fourth exhibit is an old orcish catapult. Well, at least what's left of it. During the second war when the Horde pushed through the portal against the Alliance, they brought those with them. But thanks to the Alliance counterattacks and uber unified tactics, they managed to push them back through the portal. You can read more about it in Tides of War book and later on in Beyond the Dark Portal. Fifth one is Pterodon Skeleton from Ungoro. Now what you need to know about this is that Ungoro was literally a sandbox server for Freya the Lifebinder, where she tested all kinds of animals living with each other before letting them roam Azeroth. Honestly, to me it looks like any other Pterodax you can find there. Sixth in the line is Rock Talon. I don't find it as interesting, but it might just be the biggest bird of prey that ever soared the skies. Why it went extinct is unknown, or it may have evolved into rocks found nowadays all around Eastern Kingdoms. Seventh is a nest with Sorial eggs. Somebody was hungry when coming back from the Ungoro expedition, cause I don't see any reason why they would bring Devilsaur embryos into your nation capital city. Eighth exhibit is quite remarkable, the skull of Tyrannastraz. The very second Red Dragon, he was Alexstrasza's right hand and first mate pretty much. I don't know, I don't date. It was excavated in Wetlands, where he died right after the happenings of Grim Battle, killed by Deathwing. Ninth is connected to Uldaman, but for this I'll mention both exhibits, relics and reliefs, on vases found in Uldaman. This one is important to dwarves or the entirety of Azeroth because it proves the history of how Curse of Flesh actually transformed the titan-like creatures into race and races known today. Last one I won't mention, I'll let you do your own research about it. Have fun. Number 3. Have you ever wondered what is the difference between bucklers, shields and aegises? Well, currently in the game there isn't much difference whatsoever beside the name, but bucklers are small round shields up to size of 45 centimeters in diameter, so pretty much the size of pizza, right? Shields are bigger and not always round, and can be square shapes. Aegis, however, if we look at Greek mythology, are relief shield or bucklers with some kind of ornaments like sun, bulge or even face. At some point in WoW development, shamans, hunters and rogues were supposed to be able to equip bucklers, and warriors reserved the usage of shields. Eventually the idea was scrapped, and the only remnant is the word in the name of the item, and of course the shaman tanks. Number 4. In the original TBC, while the game was progressing through patches, Quel'Thalas Flightmasters were still using giant bats instead of dragonhawks for their taxi services, up until patch 2.4. I guess being introduced to Horde meant getting help from Undercity while training their own dragonhawks. Number 5. In Q&A sessions long time ago on 14th of January 2004, which I will link in the description so you can check the whole thing out for yourself, they said that they had an idea of introducing last names for characters. Well, their names will have a cap of 12 letters, but they didn't know what will be a requirement for obtaining one. TBC introduced a few titles itself, but we didn't get last names, for which I think it was scrapped with the introduction of many titles down the line. Number 6. Located in Netherstorm, south from Arklond Ruins and west from Manaforge Koru, there is a small blue shrine only reachable by flymount. The shrine is futuristic looking tombstone surrounded by pink crystals and has the look of something of Draenei origins. It shows the glowing runes that appear to read N, O, V and A. It's a reference to Starcraft Ghost game that was discontinued in production. Blizzard devs went a step further and added a stealthed Blood Elf NPC dressed in a full ghost uniform and bearing the name of Novatera. It's a nice Easter egg for someone who dwelled in the Starcraft universe. If you are one of them, I want you to convince me down in the comments to start playing Starcraft myself. Let's see. Number 7. Let's go back to Karazhan once again. Last time I mentioned Netherspace. It's hard to notice as something else than just a view from the tower. But actually the Netherspace is not Deadwind Pass when you look from the top of the tower after killing the prince. What is Netherspace? It is connection anchor that leads from depths of twisting nether to the Tower of Karazhan, like a wormhole millions of light years away. Prince is able to summon Netherspace abyssals, but being summoned in a place of such arcane protection powers like Karazhan is, they are shrunk in size and much less likely to spontaneously erupt in fire. Also, while talking about Malchezaar, here are a few unused lines from his fight. I don't know what they are supposed to follow up on, your guess is as good as mine.
I see that subtlety of conception is beyond primitives such as you. The celestial forces are mine to manipulate. Who knows what secrets hide in the dark? Ah, yes, I do.
Number 8. Karazhan is full of secrets, NPCs, Easter eggs, and just huge instance of its own. This time the NPCs that you can find in Karazhan bear some interesting names and possibly family connections. For example, Barnes, the stage manager, he might be related to Joan Barnes, a master enchanting trainer in Honor Old in Hellfire Peninsula. Also, if you ever cleared Karazhan and decided to skip Morrows and go straight to Opera, Barnes will have a different dialogue and won't start the event. Ebonlock, an NPC quite out of the way hidden above the banquet hall, has first row seats to the death of Morrows. However, the gossip, the one on the screen, refers to that 6 nobles of Darkshire who were the final ones to join such hospitality as living things in Karazhan, and they were invited to meet Medivh, but they were all killed and doomed to never leave, but party and wait. It doesn't mean that Ebonlock died along with them, but he's also imprisoned inside of Karazhan. His family relations are his brother Elo Ebonlock and his daughter Althea in Darkshire. Hastings, a well-known but rarely listened to NPC at the doors that lead to servant quarters, just right from the Karazhan main gates. It is speculated that he is related to Kalia and Anson Hastings. Kalia is a rogue trainer and quest giver located in Theramore Isle in Dustwallow Marsh, and Anson can be found in Stormwind during the Hollow's End event as a quest giver, which will happen quite soon, so go ahead and try to find him in Stormwind. Lastly, there is Sebastian, a tower organist hidden nicely next to Opera, closer to stage but on the left side, where raids almost never go. He has 2 different gossips depending on if you cleared Opera event or not. My guess is that his name refers to distinguished chord composer Crab from The Little Mermaid. Number 9. There are 3 hidden rooms in Karazhan, maybe not hidden, but definitely out of the regular clearing route. First one is the guardhouse room, on the 2nd floor of Library Stables. This room will be used in a pre-patch event from TBC into the Wrath of the Lich King, but until then it should be locked and not accessible. Second hidden room is the first left room in a corridor leading to the Maiden of Virtue. On the bed you can see 2 skeletons. You might have overlooked it since there are tons of skeletons everywhere in Karazhan. After all, almost entire denizens of the instance are undead ghosts. Anyway, if you look more closely you will see a dagger and something that resembles potion, or rather a poison. It is a reference of Romeo and Juliet. If you say it's a love story, I'll disagree and say they were both way under 18 years old, Their relationship lasted for a few days and 6 people died. It's more of a tragedy than a romantic novel, but that's just me. Lastly, the medieval chambers are just underneath the top of the tower. If you take the path to the left side instead of the regular right after the chest event, you will end up in a really pretty and luxurious penthouse with a huge bed. I really like that bed. Image of Medivh chills there as well. Can't really interact with it, most likely it's just a memory taken in visible shape. You can see in a few places clouds of fell gases, which tells you that you're already stepping into Netherspace, where arcane energies are not as dominant as fell magic. Number 10. Once again, as number 10, I want to talk about unobtainable items and mounts. Let's get the mounts out of the way first. Peep's whistle summons Alar pretty much. It's just a different item of summoning, name and aura buff. Also, it has a flavor text which reads, "Welcome to the Alex country, buckle up." Alex is none other than the notorious Aphrosia bee, and Peep is marshmallow covered in sugar in the shape of a duckling. Second item, very well known, is Martin's Fury. Cheating item that got the entire guild banned back in the days. Those were good times. Anyway, you might not have known, but there's another version of Martin's Fury in the game files, the Martin's Thunder, which is one-hand sword with a lot of resistance and no charges. Third and last item, one of the most useful if I may add, but sadly not available to players without GM's help, is Foror's Viper Neutralizer. With one press of a button, it revives an entire raid of players with full HP and mana inside or outside of combat, without any cost whatsoever. Of course, it is used on PTRs while the guilds are testing boss and boss mechanics, to provide fast recoveries and more tries in a shorter amount of time. Again, if you analyze the name of the item, the Aphrosia bee name will pop up. There is something available to players though, easily obtainable, and that is subscribe to Volfey. Let's try and push the numbers to 2k subs. We are not that far away. Also, let me know down in the comments what kind of special you would like me to do when we actually reach that goal. This is it for the video. I suggest checking the first 10 interesting facts linked in the description. Thank you for watching, stay safe and have fun playing the game. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.